Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Jo Ray Mi Fa So La Keto. I'm Jo Ray and I do weekly vlogs and meal prep videos to share my keto health journey. I started keto in 2018 and I lost about 50 pounds and maintained that weight loss for a couple of years until the nightmare we all know as 2020. And I gained everything back and then some. And then in January of 2021, I restarted my keto journey and I have lost over 50 pounds so far. So today we're gonna go ahead and meal prep for the week 3 different recipes. The 3 meals that I'm making this week is a chicken pot pie soup, meatloaf with a cauliflower mash, and a Cobb salad, and I'm gonna put that in mason jars for the week. When I plan my meals for the week, I really like a variety, so I did a soup, a salad, and then something that is more of like a warm, hearty meal. I also consider how I'm gonna cook all of these things because I really do like to try to cook things at the same time if I can help it. And soups are usually really easy where you can throw a lot of things into a pot at one time and then have that cook while you're making the other meals. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here are all of the ingredients that I have for the week. I kind of try to put it into the different categories of the different meals that I'm putting together. So over here on this side, I have the ingredients for the meatloaf and the cauliflower mash. So I have a couple pounds of ground beef. This is 80-20. You really could use whatever you'd like. But we also have our egg. And then I have some almond flour here instead of breadcrumbs to make it keto. I've also seen people use like a grated Parmesan cheese, like the powdered Parmesan cheese. And then we have our onion, pepper, garlic, Worcester sauce, and then some sugar-free, well actually no added sugar, ketchup. So that's everything that is gonna go in the actual meatloaf itself. And for the cauliflower mash, I'm gonna use frozen cauliflower and then mash it up. Like I really am trying to make this as easy as possible. And then to my cauliflower mash, I'm probably gonna add some butter, garlic, like whatever you would put in there, maybe some heavy cream that you would put in like a normal mashed potato. Over here, I have my ingredients for the chicken pot pie. So I have my chicken thighs over here. I'm gonna be using as many frozen vegetables as I can. I didn't find like frozen celery, so I do have some celery that I'm gonna chop up and add in there. I'm also gonna use part of this onion as well. I think only half an onion is needed for the meatloaf, so I'll use the other half in the pot pie. But on the frozen veggies, I have green beans, some cauliflower and broccoli, and I have some peas and carrots, which I won't use this entire bag. This is probably the highest carb vegetable out of this whole bunch, but I do like peas and carrots in it. So I want to make sure I add some of those. I have seen other recipes that will include radishes to kind of mimic potatoes. I didn't have radishes. I didn't feel like chopping them up either, so I didn't add them in here. So over here on this side are the ingredients I have for the Cobb salad. So I have my chicken. You definitely could use steak or anything else that you have. I didn't have any steak, so I just bought some more chicken thighs. I don't always like to use the same meat in 2 different dishes. I like to say, oh, I'm gonna use pork here, I'm gonna use steak or something else. But in this case, this is what I had, so this is what I'm gonna use. I also have my traditional ingredients for a Cobb salad, so cucumber, tomatoes, avocado. I forgot the bacon. So the bacon, I gotta make sure to make some bacon. I have my salad here, which is a spring mix, and then the eggs that I'm going to make in the Instapot today. For the dressing, I am gonna try Keto Connect's ranch dressing, which I've heard really good things about. So in that is some homemade mayo, which I made this today. It is just like egg and some avocado oil is how you can make this in a jar. I'll go ahead and post a link to 2 Crazy Keto's avocado oil mayo video, or the recipe even. It's so good, it's really easy to make. But I wanted to make this instead of using a traditional mayo. A lot of times they don't use very good oils. So I wanted to make this myself. And then it's basically the base is a mixture of sour cream and mayo. Then I also have all of the herbs to go into the dressing. So I have the dill weed here. I was looking for fresh, they didn't have any. I also have some ground mustard, some chives, and then some parsley. So we have all of the herbs to make our dressing to go on top. So when I meal prep, I really look at trying to do the things that would take longest the first, right? This can seem like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of ingredients. How am I gonna get this done? This is gonna take all day. But there's really a lot of things that you can do while other things are cooking. So the first thing that I'm going to do is get this ground beef put together and in the oven, as well as getting some of the chicken thighs in the air fryer for my salad. And then after that, we can start on the other parts of the dishes. Okay, so there were a couple things I had to do before I could get started on the meatloaf. I had to make sure I cut up my onions and peppers over here. And then I do have some leftover peppers. I think I'm just gonna add these to the salad so I don't waste it. And then I have the rest of the onions for the soup. So I have those kind of separated out. But in here is my 2 pounds of ground beef. To that, we're gonna add the chopped onion and the bell pepper. Then we're gonna add our eggs, and there are 2 eggs and not just 1. I had to reread the whole recipe because I did forget about the Parmesan cheese. So I thought that I hadn't used this recipe before, but I have, and there is Parmesan cheese in it. So we're adding that as well. But I'm gonna beat these eggs and then get them into the meatloaf. Then we're gonna add our Worcestershire sauce. Then we're gonna add our salt and our pepper. This recipe says to add garlic powder, but I'm gonna add fresh garlic. So the recipe that I'm following is gonna be linked in the description below. I'm also going to add my almond flour and my grated Parmesan cheese. Then we're just gonna mix everything up, and the best utensils are our hands. When it comes to meatloaf, you definitely don't want to overmix, but you do want to make sure that all of the ingredients are incorporated. So we're going to go ahead and add this to my loaf pan. This is silicone, so I love this pan. I really don't need to put like a parchment paper or anything else in there. Just put it in the pan. I went ahead and washed my hands, and now we're just gonna add the ketchup on the top. So this recipe calls for a half a cup. Honestly, I'm not gonna measure. I don't feel like putting that in a cup and putting it out. I'm just going to squeeze them on and then brush it on. I don't really feel like that just went all over me. I feel like a half a cup is a lot. I don't really feel like I used a half a cup. I mean, this thing is a half a cup. I just spread it on there until I feel like it looks good enough. And then we're just gonna put this in the oven for an hour on 350. Next, we're gonna go ahead and get our chicken in the air fryer. Okay, so we have my chicken here, and I've never really put this in the air fryer before, but I have heard from the lovely Ebony that this is something that you can do, and all you really have to do is put salt and pepper on it and throw it in the air fryer. So that's what I'm gonna try. Honestly, I don't really remember what she said to put it on, how long to put it on. So I'm just gonna put this in at 350 for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes at a time, and just check the internal temperatures until they're done. So I think we can fit 4 in here and 4 in the other one. At least the last 2 in the other one. Air fry. Let's go down. We're gonna do 350, and we're gonna do 10 minutes. Okay, match cook. There we go. Well, the chicken thighs are in the air fryer. I'm gonna go ahead and chop up the other chicken for the chicken pot pie soup so I can get that started. And then while that's cooking, I'm gonna get all of my other veggies chopped up. To get started on the chicken pot pie soup, the first thing I'm gonna do is just get the chicken into the pot with a little avocado oil, and then I'm gonna add my seasonings, which is just gonna be salt, pepper, probably garlic powder, and onion powder. And while that's browning and cooking up a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and get all of the veggies chopped. Okay, so my chicken is all brown now, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my onions and my celery. I probably use like 2 celery sticks, but I'm gonna let these kind of cook for a little bit, and then I'll add the rest of the frozen veggies. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the frozen veggies warm up for just a little bit. But I am gonna add just a little bit more of the seasoning, so a little bit more garlic powder. And I already added onions in there, so I'm not gonna add any onions, but some garlic powder and some salt still. So I do want to say I'm not really following a specific recipe here. I am going to be using keto chow as the thickening agent, the chicken soup keto chow, but I will link a recipe below to Joe and Rachel from Two Crazy Ketos, their pot pie recipe. You can always make that and add some more water to make it more of a soup if you want, but it's just the regular like pot pie filling, and they use xanthan gum to thicken. So I'm gonna be using keto chow. If you have keto chow, great. If you don't, you can use xanthan gum to thicken. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in for a little bit of a close up here so you can see what's in there. So I have all my veggies and the chicken, and then I'm just ready to add the base, the soup part of it. So in here, I have about 1/2 cup of heavy cream, some water, and some chicken keto chow. So it is kind of thick, but I'm gonna be using this to thicken it up, and I'm gonna be adding some more water too as well. Okay, so here's how it looks with the keto chow in there, and it's pretty thick right now, and it'll definitely thicken up a little bit over time, but I wanna add more water to this. I want it more soupy. So honestly, add as much water to the thickness that you like. So here's the consistency that I would like. So there's a good amount of sauce in the soup. It's not just veggies, but I do get a lot of veggies as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this just heat up for a bit, and basically that is done. So the next thing I'm going to do is just get all of the ingredients put together for my salad. Oh, and I forgot, my chicken from the air fryer is done. So let me show you that real quick. And I'm back. So here it is. Some of them brown, some of them not so much, I think, depending on how I flipped them. But I'm going to slice this up so I can put this in the salad. Bend down. Say hi. Ooh, careful. Almost lost my vegetables. Okay, so I have all the ingredients ready for the salad and to put it together. I didn't peel my eggs just yet because I did want to kind of show this. So there you go, really easy to peel. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these peeled really quick, and then I'm gonna rinse them off. And then I'm gonna show you how we kind of put together the jar salad. Say hi, Quincy.
Hi again, bye again.
Silly boy. Okay, when you put together a jar salad, right, I feel like we've seen this on Pinterest, and it was a big thing at some point, but to me, this is the easiest way for me to be able to eat a salad when I want a salad as quickly as possible. I do like to use my food scale. I mean, you don't really have to do that, but I like to be able to have the same amount of ingredients in each of my jars, so I kind of separate the ingredients as evenly as I can with the scale. When you layer a jar salad, you want to put your wetter ingredients at the bottom and then work your way up to the drier ingredients, right? So if we put our cheese in the same layer as the tomatoes, then your cheese is going to get all soggy. And the same thing for your lettuce, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is put my tomatoes, because that is definitely the wettest ingredient that we have. So we're gonna go ahead and go on to our next ingredient, which would be the cucumbers. Next, I'm gonna add the green peppers, and these were just what I had left over from the meatloaf, so. Yeah, I'm definitely off on these ones, so I'm just gonna grab a couple from like every jar. And put it in this one. Next, I'm gonna add my chicken, and I did end up slicing up that entire packet. I don't know if I'm gonna use it all. I'll probably end up doing around like 5 ounces or so of this chicken. We'll kind of see if that looks like it's enough. So 5 ounces was a little overzealous. It ended up being about 3.8 ounces of cooked chicken in each one of these. So the next ingredient I'm gonna put is, I think I'll do the lettuce next, because I feel like the egg on top of the chicken, it might be okay, it might not, but I think on top of the lettuce it should be fine. For the lettuce, you really do kind of have to scrunch it down in there, which is fine. I'm using a spring mix. You can definitely use, whatever kind of lettuce you want. But I'm going to go ahead and do the eggs next. And I have this nice little egg slicer, so this is my favorite way to cut these, because then I don't really have to cut them. So the last thing I'm gonna add is some shredded cheddar cheese. I thought I had some blue cheese. I don't have any, so we're just gonna go with cheddar. I also forgot to make the bacon, so I'm just gonna make that at another time and add it to the salad as I eat the salads. So now we have all of our jar salads ready to go. And then when you're ready to make it, you can just throw it in a bowl and add your dressing, which that's what I'm gonna make next is the dressing for this. So I also forgot to mention that I have avocados for the salads as well. So when it is time to cook those and put them together, I'm gonna have to add the bacon and the avocado, and then of course toss it with the dressing. So here's the dressing. I'm gonna make this. I haven't made it before. It's from Keto Connect. So in here, I have some mayo and some sour cream, and then we're gonna add all the seasonings. Normally, you do want like fresh, this is gonna taste better, but I didn't have fresh dill. But the parsley is pretty fresh, and so the chives, there's some salt, some onion powder, a little bit of mustard powder. So there's a good amount of seasonings in here, but we're just gonna add this to the mixture. I am going to put a link to the recipe in the description below as well for this if you'd like to make it. I'm going to stir this up. I think it says that you can shake it or whisk it. I think I'm missing some ingredients though. Hold on, let's check. So I was missing some heavy cream and some vinegar, so I'm going to add that real quick. you can put this in a mason jar and mix it all up and shake it up, but I used all of my mason jars for the salad and then also one for the mayo, so I don't have anything extra. So I'm just gonna mix it here, but I am gonna put the lid on it and shake it up a little bit, and that's really as easy as this ranch dressing is. I do want to give it a try. I have some celery while my husband is being loud opening stuff over there. Here goes Quincy again. But I'm gonna dip it in here. It's really good, and I feel like it's only gonna get better the longer I let it set. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge. The last I can't. And the last thing that we need to put together is the cauliflower mashed potatoes. He's having way too much fun. So for the cauliflower mash, I just did regular frozen cauliflower. I'm gonna add some of my butter. I had this in the microwave. It's one of the like steam in a bag things. So we're gonna add some butter to this. Should be warm. I'm gonna add a little bit of fresh garlic. I was gonna do garlic powder, but fresh always just tastes better. So just a little bit of that because it does get a little overpowering. I'm gonna put a little bit of cream for the liquid, maybe a couple tablespoons. Some sour cream, and I'm almost out of this. I'm gonna use the end of it. And then some salt and pepper. And then I'm gonna use my immersion blender to blend it all up. And I do have another packet of cauliflower. I didn't want to have too much. The carbs do kind of add up there. I at least want a little bit of the mashed cauliflower. And I have a little bit of leftover chives from the dressing, so I'm gonna just put some chives in here. But I like mashed cauliflower. There are a lot of people that will make it with fresh. I do think it tastes a little better from fresh cauliflower, but I did not have the time to go and like chop it up and boil it and do all of that. So frozen it is, and to me this is gonna be a good side to my meatloaf. And speaking of my meatloaf, let's go ahead and show you that. So here we are. This has been sitting for a while. There is some oil in the bottom because I did use 80-20 ground beef. But what I'll end up doing is just slicing this up to maybe 4 or 5 servings and eating it with the cauliflower. But this is a way that you can make, you know, meatloaf and mashed potatoes and make it keto. Okay, so I tried all the food and then of course didn't record it, so we're gonna try this again. I guess it's not gonna be a genuine reaction, but everything is good, but let's go ahead and take bites. So first I have the chicken pot pie soup. So I put a little bit, little bowl. I'm not gonna eat this for a meal tonight or anything, but I just wanna take a quick bite. No, it's really good. The broth maybe isn't as thick as I would like it to be. I might have added a little bit too much water, but I know with keto chow, it will thicken up as it sits, so it might be a little bit thicker tomorrow. I'll probably add a little bit more salt to this as well. And I do like spice, so I'll probably add some green chilies when it's time to make this. As you can see over there, I did portion out all of my soups. I do have these little ramekins that are really good to use in the microwave, like they don't get super hot and I got a handle on them. So I like portioning them out ahead of time, so then all I need to do when it's time to eat is just throw it in the microwave, warm it up, and then I'm ready to eat. One other thing you could do is make some like almond flour drop biscuits to act as like the crust to a chicken pot pie. I might end up making those a little bit later this week, but I didn't have time today. But honestly, just that big portion of soup by itself I think will be enough. So the last thing I'm gonna try is the meatloaf and the cauliflower mash. So here that is. That is so flavorful. It just has so many seasonings in there. And I feel like with meatloaf, you can eat a pretty large portion as a part of your meal. And then I'm gonna take a bite of this cauliflower mash. That's really good to me. I feel like, you know, it does taste like cauliflower. So if you don't love cauliflower, maybe cauliflower mash is not for you. I feel like there are people that will try to say it tastes exactly like mashed potatoes, and it's a good sub, but it does not taste like mashed potatoes. I'm sorry guys, it just doesn't. But I like cauliflower. It has a texture of mashed potatoes. It looks like mashed potatoes. It's got, you know, butter and garlic and cream in there. I feel like it's definitely good enough, and it still tastes really good. I'm not gonna try my salads over here. I feel like all of you know what a Cobb salad tastes like. And like with any salad, it's just gonna taste like whatever ingredients are in your salad with some dressing on top. So you really can change up a jar salad for whatever kind of salad you wanna put together. I have seen people who have put dressing at the bottom of a jar salad, and what I've noticed is that the dressing just sticks to the side of the jar as it comes out, and I feel like I'm missing dressing. So I would rather just add it after the fact. As I mentioned earlier, all of the recipes, if I did follow a recipe, are listed in the description below. And if you have any ideas of something that you would like me to make, or you think would be good for a meal prep, please let me know in the comments as well. Okay, everyone, that is all that I have for the week. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the little bell icon to get a notification every time I post a new video. So I will see you soon. Thanks, bye.